All right, so I'm seeing that there's this one thing that stands out more so than anything else that tends to get freight brokers and truck drivers in big trouble. So I want to cover that today and make sure that you're taking care of this, because if you don't, you could cause you and your business some serious issues and could cause you a whole lot of money trying to get out of it. Now, you might not know this, but if you're not filing a 1040 ES every quarter on behalf of you and your business, you could be causing yourself a big issue. And that's a 1040 ES on the state side or a 1040 ES on the federal side and a 40 ES on the state side. Now, all this is your quarterly tax payments. For some reason, freight brokers and truck drivers, business owners tend to think that you can pay your taxes once a year and you're good to go, right? You file your taxes and then you go ahead and pay what it is that you owe at the end of the year or on April 15th. But that's not the case for self-employed individuals. Self-employed individuals have to pay as you go, right? And it's the same thing for a W-2 employee, except they're doing it through withholding tax, right? So when you're self-employed, you don't have an employer withholding tax on your behalf. So you have to do that on your own. And a part of that is if you owe $1,000 to the IRS, if you anticipate that you're going to owe $1,000, you have to pay it in 4 payments throughout the year. So you would pay it on April 15th, you would pay it again on June 15th, September 15th, and then the last one will be paid the next year on January 15th, right? So it's important that you make sure that you pay those payments. If you owed $1,000 in those 4 payments, you would break it down and pay $250 each quarter. But I see a lot of people not paying quarterly taxes. And the only way that you should not be paying quarterly taxes if you are self-employed is if you are not making a profit, right? Now, if you are, when you go ahead and file your taxes and you find out how much money you make, if you look at your money and you say all of the money you made minus your deductions or minus the expenses of your business, you didn't make any money. You basically were zero balance or you were in the negative, then you don't have to pay quarterly taxes. But if you're making a profit, the general rule is if you're making a profit, you have to pay quarterly taxes. Or if you think you're going to pay at least $1,000 back to the IRS, you have to pay quarterly taxes. So you have to make sure that you're doing that. If you don't have a CPA, you have to file these docs on your behalf, on your own behalf, right? So that's the 40 ES for the state, and that's the 1040 ES for the federal government, for the IRS, right? And you just break down, you say if you owed $30,000 in taxes at the end of the year, then you would break it down, that $30,000 between 4 payments, and that would be $7,500 each quarter, right? It's not about you waiting until the end of the year to pay that money. A lot of you are thinking that, but that's not how it works. And if you do that, you'll get penalized when you get ready to pay those taxes. So I wanted to give you that quick note this morning to make sure that you're staying on top of that. This is a part of managing our businesses, doing it the right way, making sure that you keep your ducks in order. If you're interested in learning more about the freight broker business, I'll leave a free link in the description. It's my 5-video series, and I titled it How the Load Moving Process Works. Gives you a chance to come into the office with me and you can watch me as I move loads. I talk to carriers, talk to those shippers to give you an understanding of how this business works before you come into it. And then if you're interested in learning more about how we go out and secure our customer base, find those shippers, I'll leave a free video right here. So until the next time, I wish you the very best in your life and business. See you at the top, because the bottom is much too crowded.